Welcome to episode number 218 of our Next Level Mastermind. And our topic for today is getting your prospects on a call. It's something that we all need to think about, and I want to find out what's working for you. But before we get to that topic, let's think about this. For those who are watching this replay, please do me one small favor, and in fact, do yourself a favor. Reach out and connect with each one of these people, with George and Daniel and Dr. Chris, Vangelis, John, Gabby and Brian, and whoever else is going to join us as we move along. Reach out to these people and share with them what your thoughts, hopes and fears and aspirations may be. Maybe they've got opportunities for you. Maybe they've got connections for you or doors that they can open for you or whatever. Whatever you do, don't do what I did. And I was the worst offender. When I first started online, I can tell you this, I didn't think I needed any help at all. I was full of egotistical rubbish and it was pure stupidity. Do not do what I did. Reach out to people who've got the experience and the expertise and the patience and the willingness to help you. Please do that and make sure you take the advantage of meeting with these people. They are really good at what they do and I will vouch them with my reputation. So without any further ado, what I'd like to do now is start letting them introduce themselves to you so you can see how darn good they are. But let's start with you, G&I, George Naugle International. Start with you, followed by Daniel.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. I, first of all, would like to make a couple of shout outs. One to John. Him and I connected for a one-on-one to catch up. We had a great conversation. Tina, we actually connected, and wow, what an amazing woman. It was really interesting, great conversation, and I know we'll be having some more. I'm George Naugle, and I founded George Naugle International, and our main purpose of the company is to help business owners work less and earn more profit. If you're feeling like you're on a rocking horse, rocking back and forth really fast, and your profits in your bank are low, hit me up. I may have some insights that may help you.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much for the shout outs. That's very important. I really appreciate the way that you recognise others there. Can you hear feedback, by the way, or is it just my ears? Yeah? I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
It's John Allen. John Allen needs to mute. He's switching around.
Right.
If you can mute him, it'd be helpful.
He's muted at the moment.
He is muted. And he's listening.
He's there. He's in the room twice, though. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, he's got two audios open, and that's why it's feeding back.
Oh, John, did you hear that? You heard. I didn't know that. I can only see you once. But you're here
trying to shut the friggin' phone off, and the sucker won't die.
Oh, excuse me.
Technology.
Technology, John. Technology.
There it is. It's gone now.
Daniel, over to you. Daniel, followed by you, Vangelis.
Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here again. I would like as well to have a shout out for Tina. I had with Tina beautiful conversations, and this was, it was really something special. So thank you, Tina. So I am Daniel. Oh, sorry, so I'm Daniel Cobrina. I'm a high energy, heart-centered life and business coach and an international motivational speaker. I'm a French citizen and who has made London his home for many years. I support spiritual small business owners over 40 who feel stuck, out of direction, to reclaim their power back, to find unshakable clarity and confidence, and to become truly unstoppable. My unique superpower is the ability to hold real space, sacred space, where my clients feel completely safe to express themselves fully and vulnerably without fears of being judged, criticized, or given unsolicited advice, which allows deep transformation to unfold naturally. Through personalized one-to-one and group coaching journeys, I help my clients align with their truth, with their values, unlock their potential, and live lives of profound impact and purpose.
Well, that was very spiritual, Daniel. I am impressed with that. Thank you very much indeed. Well
Thank you,
done.
Peter. I'm
Mr.
bleeding.
Costa Rica himself, Vangelis, followed by the only woman here, Tina. God bless you. Vangelis,
And
over to
Gab.
you.
I'm Gab.
Gabby's here too.
Oh, where is Gabby? I can't see her.
Her picture went away for a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Vangelis.
Yeah, my name is Vangelis, and I'm here in Costa Rica right now. Many companies, as a result of technology changing so quickly, many companies are always looking for ways to evolve and adapt and keep up with everything. And the big thing right now, everyone hears is artificial intelligence, which really actually has been around since the first time anyone built a computer to do something a human does. And I work with companies in their hardware, their machines, and their software, their applications, and the human element, whatever their mindset is. So I work on all of those planes, those realms, those places where companies are always wanting to adapt and to evolve and to do better. That's what I do. Thank you.
And you do it very well. Thank you very much indeed. Tina, followed by an apologies to you, the other lovely lady we have here, Gab. But first, Tina. My apologies, Gabby. Okay.
So I may be the only woman here because Gabby is a superhero. So we can't count her in the woman part when she's a superhero. So my name's Tina Huggins. I'm a certified divorce coach, certified restorative family mediator, and certified in conflictual co-parenting coach. I help individuals going through a very difficult time with their divorce, and their emotions are all over the place, unable to make decisions. And my job is to help them put those emotions back in place so that they can make decisions, because the decisions are what helps them make the rest of their life work for them. With too much emotion, decisions are all over the place. This helps their attorney, and by helping their attorney, we're able to keep their costs down in thousands of dollars. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tina. And thank you for being you. I just love your posts. I just feel, wow, this woman is incredible. There's no doubt about you. Thank goodness you're a black belt too for some of the people you got to handle. Gab, over to you, followed by John, if you're there. Gabby.
Yep. My name is Gabby. I do digital design. I have Ellable.com, and I help people amplify their voice through digital means and stuff. And yeah, I like to help people with decorating stuff and making it look good. I help with the website, the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anything digital, and I do all of it with integrity too. So yeah, I don't just like leave you without help in the future. So yeah.
And I want to give you a shout out, Gabby. Thank you very much indeed for redoing my very boring looking LinkedIn profile cover page. Thank you very much, Gabby. You did a fantastic job. Well done. Well done indeed. I appreciate you very much. John D. Allen. Are you there? Yep, John D. Allen, followed by Dr. Chris.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, no matter where you are in this big wide world. I'm John D. Allen, Allen Small Business Coaching. I specialize in teaching trust-based selling and marketing. Basically, what that means, if your sales aren't where they're supposed to be or your marketing's not working, reach out because there's a good chance that your prospects don't trust what you're saying. You know, we got another master trainer in the house here, Brian K. McNeil. He can help with your sales training as well. You know, there's so many great people on this call that can help you. George, Dr. Chris, Daniel, Tina, Gabby, Van Gillies. All of these people here can all help you with building your business. So reach out to each and every one of them, including Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, John, very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Chris.
Dr.
Sorry,
Chris,
I forgot you in your dressing gown. Dr. Chris, followed by Brian.
forgotten me already, Peter.
How could I?
Dr. Chris Willems, ArtsMedia Consultants. I help business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs who loathe presenting get to love it and not feel like they come across as complete dicks on video and Zoom. And I've got a bit of a shout out as well for someone you may not know, but his name's Peter Beckenham. And a shout out because of his generosity, his reliability, and his integrity. He turns up every week and hosts these meetings, and the ever reliable Peter Beckenham.
Thank you, Chris. I've been taught to say thank you and say nothing else. So thank you very much indeed, Chris.
Thank you.
Brian K. McNeil.
Good morning to everyone in this amazing circle of talent. And that's how I feel about you guys. Thank you, Peter, for putting this together. My name is Brian K. McNeil, and I'm a sales skills improvement evangelist. And I like the term because that's what I advocate, sales skills improvement. And I attempt daily to give honor to the word sell and selling. There are so many amazing people that offer services that genuinely do help others, like many of you in this room. But a lot of these people that offer these services, they do not earn the money that they could or that they should. And very often the reason why they don't earn that money is they simply do not know how to sell it well, or they have a negative connotation with the word sell, or they're using antiquated selling methods that no longer work. And what I do is actually teach them what to say and do so that they can sell themselves, which they often forget to do, and their services better than they ever have before so they can earn more money than ever before. And I do it through my coaching, through my workshops, through my talks from my platform, or my books. And I've just published my 8th book, Brian K. McNeil, the Sales Skills Improvement Evangelist.
Give it to me one more time. How do you say money again?
Money. Peter, I want to say this too. This past Saturday, I gave a presentation to a group of accomplished entrepreneurs. There was 65 of them in the room. And when I asked, I said, how many of you guys raise your hand if you feel like you're entrepreneurial? Just period, entrepreneurial. And 100% of the hands fly. They are entrepreneurs. And then I asked, how many of you guys consider yourselves in sales? And about 3 hands went up. And isn't that interesting?
Say no more. Say no more. Unfortunately, some people don't realize that if you are not making any sales, then you're not in business. That's the point of it, okay? That's as darn simple as it is. Anyway, thank you, Brian. As always, a man of wisdom and expertise. I've got some apologies for us before we move on. From Mark Engstaff, from the other doctor in the house, Dr. Annika Sorensen, who's doing her medical practitioner's work today, so she can't join us. From Christine Best, the lady who wants to see you with all your clothes off, Chris, okay? Yvonne Jones, Tony B, who can't make it here because he's all sorts of all over the place. And finally, from one of our lovely other ladies who would like to be here, but she's not very, very well. Her name is Brenda Sheldrake. She just sent me a message saying, Peter, I'm hoping to get there next week. My apologies for being absent without leave for the last few weeks. So there we are. That's the apologies. Our topic, again, getting your prospects on a call. Okay. The reason I picked this topic is because it's in relation to really what, Brian, what you were alluding to when you said only 3 people put their hand up, right? Because if you are not talking to potential clients, then are you really in a business at all? And that I worry about that. It's a challenge for people. It's something that we all have challenges with in various times. There's no doubt about that. But if we are not getting prospects on a call on a regular basis, then we really are not in business. That's my gut feel, and I can't think of any other way to say it without being totally honest. So with that in mind, and I'm not expecting people here to be experts in that. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for you to share your experiences. What is working for you, or maybe what's not working for you. It doesn't matter. We work together as a team here. We share and we care, okay? I'm not asking you to come on board as the greatest person in the world. Just be you. Just be real. So with that in mind, who'd like to go first and share their thoughts about getting prospects on a call? Good, bad, or indifferent, whatever it is. I'll leave it to you. Brian, unexpected as it may be, your hand is up very quickly. Okay, Brian.
How to get a client on a call. This is not going to sound pretty, but it ain't easy. Okay. Why would anybody do anything? They do it for their reasons and not ours. I have found the most effective way to get people on a call is to incent them to schedule. I offer them something that I was willing to do anyway. I offer them an ebook, or offer them, or they have had to have seen expertise. But please understand, every single person that you want to do business with, you are at some point interrupting them from what they're doing, because they were doing something. No one was just waiting around for you to come along. So you have to disturb them in a way that they want to take an action. You could do it through questions. You could do it through presentation, but it ain't easy. It's consistent work. You have to give them a reason to want to, and the reason has to be theirs. Hopefully that helps.
Brian, when you say you are interrupting them, that often is in our minds rather than in their minds when you think about it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like when people say, like for example, if someone send a direct inbox message, okay, saying, my name is Brian McNeil. I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I like your mission. I believe I can be helpful to your mission with my service. Now, that right there, they didn't ask for me to say that in the inbox, but I did. And if they read it at all, they may be curious as to what I want to talk about or not. Okay, but for the right people, it will be enough.
Good point. Good point, Brian.
Mhm.
Who'd like to contribute next, or do I spin the bottle? Dr. Chris.
I think George just beat me to it, actually. But just following on from Brian, whenever I get a lot, and we all do. We all get lots of messages on LinkedIn from people that we don't know, we've never heard of, and increasingly I find that disturbing, and I will not engage with someone who wants to, sends me a message on LinkedIn and says, "Oh, I can help you with your, blah blah, with your website or whatever," and I don't know them. They're not necessarily first level connections, and I find it a bit disturbing and a bit certainly disruptive, and I'm not sure what other people feel about that, but it's the trouble is we turn around and have to do it ourselves, to generate business, and it's a bit of a dilemma for me.
It's interesting, Chris. I read 2 or 3 days ago a bit of research from one of the very smart people on LinkedIn. His name is Adam Houlihan. You may or may not have heard of it.
I know, Adam, yeah.
And Adam was saying this, that people who send out connection requests on LinkedIn, for example, right? 90% of the people who send out connection requests do not add anything into that request. I just click the request link. The only people who send messages with it are people who are in sales.
Adding a note. Always add a note.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, if I'm connecting myself, I always add a note. Yeah, but I never say, come and buy my course.
It's an interesting point, okay, when you think about it. I didn't realise that either. So,
yeah.
thank you, Chris. All right. George, my apologies before. It was touch and go between you and Chris. So over to you, George. Getting prospects on a call. What about you?
You're on mute.
Thank you, Peter. And thank you, Dr. Chris. Basically, messaging, that's the first thing to get a person on a call. And like Brian said, we have to make sure it's for their reason, not ours, because people don't care what we have. They don't care what we know. They just want to know, can we solve their problem? So if they believe that we could solve their problem, they'll hop on a call. And on the call, shut your mouth and listen and ask the right questions because, again, it's their agenda and they're the ones that are going to be paying for the service. So just like a restaurant, you have to learn how to serve them properly so that they want to do business. But it all boils down to, can you help them? And do they believe you can help them? Because whether you think you can help them or not doesn't mean you can. Because I've learned that, be taking so many courses and I get people hitting me up. Oh, I could change your life. I could do this. Really? How long you been doing this? 2 years? Okay, well, guess what? I've been doing it 20. So you might have some insights, but am I going to hire you for it? Probably not. So it's listening, understanding, and then being able to relay their problem back to them in such a way that they want to do business with you.
Thanks, George. By the way, when you said messaging, I totally agree with that. But do you have any thoughts about what type of messaging works best for you? Is it text messaging? Is it audio clips? Is it video? What sort of messaging works best for you, George?
Well, actually, I don't even mean communication. I'm actually referring to what outcome do people want? I know everyone wants to work less and make more money, or should I say money or money? But that's what people want. The last thing for me, I don't want to work 12, 14 hours a day, for, the wages of a job. Like, what for? May as well get a job and save another 6 hours a day, right? So people are looking for a lifestyle or an outcome for themselves. Because I've often said, because people say, oh, I need money. It's like, okay, well, let's switch everything right now to crypto. Okay. And crypto's the only way that you can get the lifestyle that you want. Do you want money or crypto? So neither of them is what they want. They want the lifestyle. It could be feathers. It could be salt. It could be gold. It could be this. It could be that. It doesn't matter. They want a lifestyle.
Good point, George. And very good point, Brian. I just saw it in the chat. The magic word is charisma. Well done. You want to speak to that very briefly?
Yes, sir. Charisma is one of those words that's very difficult to define, but you know it when you see it. But there's more than one type of charisma. One type of charisma is expertise. If people can see that you're an expert at it because of what you're contributing, that draws people. Sometimes it's not just expertise. Sometimes it's just consistency. If they've seen you enough times, that adds to your charisma. A smile, corny as it sounds, but if people are familiar with your smile, if they've seen you smile enough times, your smile is better than your logo. Your smiling, confidently expectant face showing up consistently adds to your charisma.
Thank you, Brian. By the way, I've got a thought for you. Seeing you're the sales evangelist, right?
Sales skills improvement
evangelist. Sales skills improvement evangelist who helps people get more money. Okay.
That's right.
Have you ever thought about using the word sage?
Sage. Like a sales sage. Let me
Food
test
for
drive it. I like sages.
have a think of that.
Even there's a song from Queen. They use the word sage. Now I've learned from fools and the sages. I like that.
That's free. I'll give it to you. Daniel, what about you, my man? Getting prospects on a call for you.
Yeah. So first, it's about, being authentic. Whatever I'm doing, in my post and in my messages, I'm just one person. So afterwards, it's, and when people resonate, I can see comments as well, and then I can DM the people, and then this is how it goes. But it's as well about, you say, ensuring visibility. And just wanted to say one little thing is that I had a big change this week, is that I launched my website. You see, and because I really wanted a place where I've got everything, my coaching programs, my workshops, my podcast activities, and I can see already the difference. So this is like a tool as well, which would be very helpful as well to, as you say, to get these connections as well, because it's about not having to explain everything. So, but it's about connections. It's about engaging without expectations. I mean, just, curiosity, just starting conversation, and then see how it brings us. And this is for me the most efficient way to connect with others.
Is there any way in particular, Daniel, that's worked better for you than any other way?
Yes, I would say yes. Do you know what? It's when when I'm running workshops, which are open to everybody, which is free. And when I see people engaging and I see what's going on as well in the chat and people reaching out, this is like very natural, because you see, I don't think business is about chasing, but it's about attracting. It's about, and again, attracting about who we are. And again, it's not like it's got to be quite natural. And the more I'm leaning into that, the better the results are coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Well done indeed. Van Gillis.
I was at a networking expo, and a lot of vendors are selling a very similar product and service. And I went over to one of them. I said, tell me, why would I purchase any of your products or services rather than anyone else? And the guy actually said, because our stuff works. And I'm thinking, that's really what you're going after. I said, so I started asking questions. So, well, does it do this? Does it do that? Does it? And the person started realizing, I don't even know what they were even thinking by saying our stuff works, because it didn't do anything for me, because it didn't even ask me any questions. So part of it depends on the environment and what you see and how you see your products or services work with the customer. And when I first started, it was products, and then they said, no, sell solutions. No, sell outcomes. And the next decade was, so all of these are decades, right? The first decade was products, then solutions, then outcomes. Now it's feelings. So it's progressing to how to connect. And I was thinking, how do you differentiate yourself? And since all of us are unique, and I've heard this a few times, you differentiate yourself by being you. So, and then there was another piece to that, as if you look at all the vendors and stuff, you would notice a huge line in front of one booth, and you would wonder, how are they getting all these? And they were giving out samples. It's such a, so there's more than one way to remove the skin from a furry animal, skin a cat. And so, yeah, I had a student from a different country say, so they thinking about the English stuff. So anyway, I think there's more one way to actually do these things depending upon the environment and how you connect, because sometimes you do connect with whatever their scenario is, and sometimes you do talk about outcomes. So I don't know if there's just one formula, but I've just seen so many different things work and depending upon the environment. But the thing about making it relevant, however you can make it relevant, do it, because not everybody is excited about money. I had one guy who I was working with, and I had some solutions and stuff to work with them, and they said they make millions of dollars a year and they're not interested. And I overheard somebody saying that they were on the golf course and they had a network outage and they couldn't finish their 18 holes. And so I said, well, if you do this, you'll be able to finish your 18 holes of golf. That's what sold him. So it's finding what connects, which is not always money. It's not always accuracy. It's not always, improvement. It could be an 18-hole golf. So just paying attention. Thanks.
I'm smiling, Venkatas, because when you start off, you said, why should I deal with you, or words to that effect, right? And then you started talking about not everybody's excited about money, all right? And that made me think about an interview they had with one of Al Capone's mobster bosses, okay? And they asked him, why do you rob banks? He said, because that's where the money is. That's what his answer was. That's why I was smiling. Thank you very much, Venkatas. Okay, who'd like to go next? Jeffrey, what about you? 55 years in marketing, you must have something to say.
Give me the question again, Peter, and I'll give you the answer.
Getting prospects on a call, what works well for you?
Trying to find out earlier what their needs are, and then more importantly, giving value. One of the things we offer when before they turn up, we tell them we're going to give them a 3-month social media content for free, normally valued at $295. Right, that's one of the things we do. And then having a team of VAs is fairly easy. We get about an 80% turn up rate. I don't think anyone gets 100%. We get 80%. And what I do, I have a funny thing I do. If someone doesn't turn up, I do a Facebook Live, which invariably turns into another client anyway. So I do not waste the opportunity. I'm already dressed up, ready to go. I do not waste the opportunity.
Did I hear you right? You get an 80% turn up rate for?
Absolutely.
That is incredible.
Yeah, all the time. Used to be in the 60s, then we went a step further. We get 80% minimum.
Wow.
Minimum.
Wow. I thought I was doing very well getting 50.
No,
well done.
You can do more than that. Let's have a chat about it. I'll show you some things I do.
Well, I'm impressed. I didn't know anyone could get. I mean, there's one person I know gets more than 80, but I mean, he's living in a world of his own. But goodness gracious me.
We'd all love to get 100, but it doesn't happen, guys. And I might add too, I've noticed the last couple of weeks, maybe I don't know what's changed, the weather or whatever, it's getting harder. So I've had to do more to keep status quo. Like, for example, I'll do X amount and I'll get X amount, right? But I've had to work actually harder. We had a bad week about 3 weeks ago. We had a shocker. And I always said to myself, trust the process, but something might be broken. It turned out what happened, one of my wonderful VAs, a good guy, he was copying the link, but when he copied the original link, it was about 14 letters. He only copied 13 of them. And none of us realized that because it's so long already. And that 4th letter was missing. So when we were sending out to these people, here's our link, here's our link, here's our link. Well, no one could get on because they couldn't click it. But no one bothered to tell us either. No one said, hey, Jeff, because they didn't give a shit about me, obviously. But no one said, hey, Jeff, your link's not working. I found it out by myself. Eventually, because I knew something was wrong. If you get 20 leads a week, and all of a sudden you drop to 6, something's wrong.
Okay.
Jeff, you said turn up rate. Does that mean people that actually show up for the scheduled appointment?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I got the term right. Turn up means they show up.
Yeah, correct. And on my podcast is even higher. But
So let me get this right, Jeffrey. Are you saying that for every 10 people
yes,
you
8 turn
invite
up.
on a call, 8 of them turn up?
No, I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying people who reach out, then want to get on a call. It's not just, are you talking cold? I'm not talking cold DMs. I'm not saying I send out 10 DMs and get 8 back.
So I'm trying to get that clear in my mind. What are we talking about then?
Yeah, people who turn up, like they've booked for me already. They've booked, right? And then they turn up.
Okay, well, whether they're cold or not cold, if they've booked a call with you, 80% of them turn up. That's what you're saying.
Correct. That's
Okay?
what I'm saying. Once they're booked into my
That is
calendar,
good.
80% turn up. And then the ones that don't turn up, I'm a bit naughty. I try and make them feel guilty. I cancel them myself within 15 minutes. I wait 10, then immediately I go into action and I say this. Sorry, girls, to keep you back. I thought Peter was genuine. He may have had another issue. Please take 100 from petty cash and go and buy a nice dinner and take a taxi home so you'll be safe, because quite often it's at night, right? Blah, blah, blah. And give Peter the link. I don't care. Give Peter the link so he can rebook. I put the guilt trip on you.
Wow.
You've cost me $100.
Wow.
And you didn't turn up. My staff stayed back for you and you didn't turn up.
What sort of reaction do you get from that?
Another 10 or 15% might send 10, get 3 to come back. Numbers game. Numbers game. Everything's numbers, guys. Numbers. Got to know your numbers.
Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you very much. Tina, what about you? What's your experiences?
So it's more difficult to get our clients on a call than it is for most of your clients, and that includes for divorce attorneys as well. Our clients are so stressed that they one don't want to make a mistake, they don't want to spend money, their head's in the sand. So it's very difficult. So when they engage in me and however they engage with me, I have to be very kind, very short-worded. I have to make sure that they understand that I'm here whenever they're ready. So it might take our clients, and when I say our clients in the divorce field, it might take our clients anywhere from weeks to a couple of months before they're able to hire us, because they just can't come to the table with their thoughts. They're just out of sorts. So I just have to be really kind. So most of the time when I ask people or tell people when they ask, how do I refer them? I say it's best if you can either email or text introduce us together, because once we are introduced to them by somebody they trust, there's more apt of them to come to the table and communicate with us and to be there with us. So that's the very best way. And it's not the best way for me so much as it is the best way for them, because again, we're here to help them. We're not here to take from them their money, their time. We're here to help them. And if they can't come to us, we can't help them.
Tina, that was brilliant. We are here to serve and help them. That's true. And in the marketplace you're dealing with, I can totally respect where you're coming from. Goodness gracious me. I mean, that's an emotional experience right from the word go, right? So thank you very much indeed. Gabby, what about you? I know you're relatively new at all this, so I'm not expecting miracles, but I would like to see your smiling face. I can only just see your eyes. That's all I can see. So sit up a bit more so we can all see you. Share with us what is going on in your world when it comes to getting people on a call.
So for me, I don't think that, okay, so I usually am able to like get calls scheduled. My calendar is always booked, very much so. But I think that the hardest thing for me is one, following up regularly. Like I do follow up, but like I think following up in discussing site stuff that I do, because like I hate Okay, so I absolutely hate having to talk to people about selling something, if that makes sense. Like it bothers me, like, because I don't want people to think that that's why I'm reaching out to you, because a lot of times I am like wanting to convert like what I'm wanting, like I'm wanting to convert, but at the same time, like I want a genuine, authentic connection with whoever I'm working with. So I find that really hard, like finding that perfect balance. But recently I realized something that takes it off of me, and I think Brian hit on something really imperative in a comment. He said that like systems are more profitable than skills, and I really think that. So recently I actually went through my website and I adjusted the whole thing. I revamped the whole thing. And when you go on the website, you'll notice that I actually gave the whole process of how I do my website design. And my reasoning for doing that was because I think it takes a lot of the communication piece off of me, because they can just go there and kind of see step by step what's going to happen. So it gives them a little bit more predictability. And I've noticed that that has been immensely helpful in following up, because people already kind of know what to expect in a way, if that makes sense. So
It does make sense. It does make sense, Kathy. And thank you for being brave enough to answer that question, because I know you're relatively new. Can I just give you one small piece of advice? When you think about feeling uncomfortable about reaching out or talking to people, or whatever words you used, keep this in mind. Maybe if you don't help them, you are doing them a disservice. Okay? Think about that. Because most of the negativity could be in your head, not in theirs. They don't know. Okay? And there is a way for each and every one of us to be able to help and support people. Anyway, just food for thought. John, what about you, my man?
Hopefully the internet will stay so I could get it all said. With me, I use Alignable. And the one thing about Alignable is a lot of the people that I reach out to there, I've already been on a Smart Connect call with them. And on your Smart Connect calls, basically it's like speed dating. You get 7 minutes for two of you to talk. So when I reach out to them, it's already a warm connection. So I have the people that I connect with, I have a 95% show up rate. But again, that's because it's already a warm connection. So it's not reaching out cold. We've already had a talk. That makes a big difference. And the other thing is, still, when you reach out, you need to have a reason for them to connect with you. It's not just because, hey, I'm John Allen or Tina Huggins or whoever, it doesn't matter. There has to be a reason for that person to connect. One of the things I say, Peter, if it was you and I, it'd be, Peter, if you're open to it, I'd really love to connect with you, love to learn more about you, your business, and share the same. Would it be okay to send you my calendar link? And because it's already warmer,
First, right? You always seek permission?
yep, then it's their choice. And when you send those out, I've got basically a 75% rate of the people I send the connection request to that say yes. And then out of that 75, there's a 95% show up rate.
Good stuff. That is good. Okay. Thank you very much, John. Anyone got some final thoughts? Or otherwise, we'll wrap it up. And I appreciate your thoughts. Anyone like to share one more thing before we go?
Be consistent. Be consistent. Turn up. Be consistent.
Yeah, good point, Jeff. Chris?
I've noted down several things, but I like Daniel's engaging without expectation. I really like that. Because, yeah, I mean, ultimately, we want an outcome, but it's that engagement being the operative word, but without expectation. I like that a lot. Thanks, Daniel.
Well said, Chris, and thank you, Daniel, for sharing it. And aligned with that is the word presumption as well, okay? Let's not presume anything, okay? It goes in line with that. Brian, last word?
Last word. Saying the word sell or thinking about the word sell or talking about the process of selling with a negative connotation attached to it is crippling your ability to do it. Your subconscious is not going to let you do things that you find distasteful. The word sell literally became a word describing the process it took for people to get the goods and services that they want. It comes from helping. So if you have a challenge with the word sell, replace it with the word help or helping. Your subconscious mind is listening to you. I really know that's hurting people who think of it that way.
Well said, Brian. Helping and serving rather than selling. Okay, well said. Gabby.
So with me, okay, this is the thing. So with the selling, so I think that what I find difficult also is like my field, I feel like there's a lot of people who are not honest and truthful, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of people who are doing site design, and not everybody, but there's a lot of people, they like just kind of like don't want to have like integrity, right? So when I go to work with people, I feel like it's almost like I have to like, in a way, I like, for lack of a better term, convince them that I'm not going to steal their money and then go up the road. Like, like I mean, like, I don't know, like, the best way to kind of because I know I'm an honest person, but they don't, So that's what makes it kind of hard because I don't want them thinking that that's the only reason I'm reaching out to them, but it's almost like I have to continuously reiterate that. So that's why it's kind of hard, if that makes sense. Like
It does make sense. It does
Yeah.
make sense.
I keep
And
saying,
remember,
okay, good.
people, Gabby, people will look you right in the eye, either face to face or here on a Zoom call, and lie to you. They will lie to you. That is
Yes.
fantastic, Gab. That is fantastic. I'll get back to you with that. And you know darn well that's never going to happen. But they just lied to you. That's their way of doing it.
All
Anyway,
the
I
time.
don't know.
Mhm.
All the time. And it's become fashionable for people on social media to lie and get away with it, which is really a bit, when it comes to the word integrity that you're talking about, Gab, it's true. You are a person of integrity, but you know what? People don't know that because they're judging you based on their worst experiences of other people. That's the problem we face. Okay. George, very quick. Thank you, Gab. George?
Yes, I actually just looked up the word. So sell actually originates from the Old English word sellen, which means to give or to hand over. So over time, the meaning evolved to include the concept of transferring something for money or other compensation. So it's really, I don't know, it could be to give or to hand over. So sometimes I find a lot of times just changing the word, like what was it? Brian said helps with the intent of what we're doing. Instead of selling, we're actually handing over or giving. Well, giving in a way that's compensation is expected.
Well said. Well said, George. Languaging is a key bit, and you're good at that. Well done indeed. Daniel, last bit before we go.
Yeah, and actually, Peter, really would like to emphasize on this very, very good tip you have given to Gab about that when we reach out, to people, or if we don't reach out, it is a disservice. And this is so important. It's not about us. It's about knowing that we can help people, and if we don't do it, we don't do good. Not doing something, inaction is not, it's we can say, oh, it's all right, we've not done it, but does it feel good? So if we know that we can, please, we give it a go. The result doesn't matter, we don't know, but we engage in this conversation. Perhaps we bring some elements to this person, even if they don't connect, doesn't, if they get something out of it, could be great. But very often, when we are very truthful, we are there, and things happen as well. I mean, in the universe. I'm just talking spiritually. So let's do that. Let's, reach out and then see what happens. But yeah, thank you.
Well said. Well said indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, I remember John D. Allen telling me this years ago, that to be an entrepreneur, you've got to have a skin like an elephant, right? You've got to have a hide like an elephant. And it's true, because you know what? We are judged by potential clients based on the worst experience they've had with somebody else. You've got to accept that. And that makes it darn difficult. So I hear what Gabby's saying. She's a woman of integrity. I hear what Van Gogh is saying in terms of the skill set that he has, and it's enormous. Or with Dr. Christiaan, the way you can make people feel comfortable, confident, and credible on camera, even though they're bloody useless, right? They are going to judge us based on their worst experiences. So, John, thank you for that piece of advice years ago. I've never forgotten it. Well done. Okay, with that in mind, we have to call it quits because our time's up. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much indeed for all your contributions, as always. Anything else you want to add? You want to say something, Tina? I don't want to ignore you. You're a woman of substance. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Lots of love from Thailand. Okay, bye for now.